In the heart of the bustling African village of Mbali, where the markets thrived with the scent of spices and the chatter of merchants, lived a young woman named Nia. Nia was a gifted weaver, her hands crafting patterns so intricate they seemed to tell stories. But her talent was overshadowed by the cruel taunts of the villagers. They mocked her simple clothes, her quiet demeanor, and her habit of speaking to herself as she wove. Her worst tormentor was Amara, the village chief's daughter, whose cruelty knew no bounds. Amara would often tear Nia's freshly woven baskets, claiming they were ugly, and humiliate her in front of others. One day, as Nia sat by the riverbank, tears streaming down her face after another of Amara's public humiliations, she was startled by a gentle voice. "Are these your baskets?" a young man asked, holding up the tattered remnants. His skin glowed under the sun, and his eyes held a kindness Nia had rarely seen. "Yes," she mumbled, trying to hide her face. "They are beautiful," he said, sitting beside her. He introduced himself as Kweku, a traveling trader. Over the days, Kweku kept returning, helping Nia gather reeds for her weaving and standing up to Amara whenever she approached. The storm. One evening, a terrible storm hit Mbali. The sky turned dark, and the river swelled with fury. Nia's hut, frail and weather-beaten, groaned under the force of the wind. She huddled inside, paralyzed with fear, as the walls began to buckle. Suddenly, the door burst open. Kweku, drenched but determined, rushed in. "Nia, we have to go," he shouted, pulling her to her feet just as the roof caved in. They escaped into the storm, finding refuge under a nearby tree. "You always seem to be there when I need help," Nia whispered, trembling. "Maybe that's where I'm meant to be," he replied softly. A secret unveiled. Days turned into weeks, and Nia and Kweku grew closer. He shared stories of distant lands, of bustling cities and endless deserts. Yet, whenever Nia asked about his past, he would deflect with a smile. One evening, as they sat by the river, Nia noticed a pendant hanging around Kweku's neck. It was a small gold emblem, shaped like a crown. "What's that?" she asked. Kweku hesitated. "It's a reminder of where I come from," he said, tucking it back under his shirt. Nia didn't press him, but the question lingered in her mind. Betrayal in the village. Amara's hatred for Nia only deepened as she saw her growing friendship with Kweku. One day, she confronted Kweku in the market. "You think you're so noble, helping a nobody like her?" Amara sneered. "But do you even know who she is?" Kweku frowned. "What are you talking about?" Amara smirked. "Her family was cursed. Her parents died because they betrayed the village. She's a stain on Mbali's name." Nia, who had overheard, ran away in tears. Kweku found her later by the river. "Is it true?" he asked gently. Nia nodded, clutching a charred bracelet. "This was my mother's. They said my parents were cursed because they tried to leave the village, but I don't know the truth." Kweku took her hand. "Whatever happened, it doesn't define you. You're not your past, Nia." The truth about Kweku. As their bond grew stronger, whispers began to spread in the village about Kweku's true identity. Some claimed he was a spy. Others believed he was a prince in disguise. Nia dismissed the rumors until one day she overheard Kweku speaking to an older man in the forest. "Your Highness," the man said, bowing low, "the council is waiting for your return. Your people need their king." Nia's breath caught. She stepped into view, and Kweku's face fell. "You're a prince?" she stammered. Kweku sighed. "I was going to tell you, Nia. My name is Prince Kweku Adam. I left the palace to understand my people and find someone who could see me for who I truly am." Nia stepped back. "You lied to me." "I didn't lie," Kweku pleaded. "I just needed to protect my identity." Hurt and confused, Nia turned and ran. The threat to Mbali. As Naya tried to distance herself from Kweku, a new threat loomed over the village. A neighboring tribe, angered by old disputes, prepared to attack. The chief called a meeting, but panic spread as the villagers realized they were outnumbered. To everyone's surprise, Kweku stepped forward, revealing his identity. "I am Prince Kweku Adam of the Kingdom of Asoma. I can help you, but only if you trust me." The chief, reluctant but desperate, agreed. Kweku quickly organized the villagers, training them in defense and strategy. Naya, inspired by his courage, offered her weaving skills to create camouflage for the villagers and decoys to mislead the enemy. A shocking discovery. During the preparations, Naya discovered an old chest hidden in her collapsed hut. Inside was a letter from her mother, revealing that her family had once been part of the Asoma royal court. They had fled to Mbali after a failed coup attempt by a jealous noble. Naya confronted Kweku with the letter. "My family was connected to your kingdom," she said. Kweku read the letter, his expression grim. "This noble, he's still a threat. He's the one backing the tribe attacking Mbali." The final battle. On the day of the attack, Kweku led the villagers with Naya by his side. Using her decoys and Kweku's strategy, they outsmarted the enemy, forcing them to retreat. In the aftermath, Kweku confronted the noble behind the attack, who had been captured. The man sneered at Naya. "Your family's disgrace lives on through you." Kweku silenced him. "Naya's family paid the price for your greed, and now you'll answer for your crimes." The Hidden Crown. With peace restored, Kweku returned to his kingdom, but he couldn't forget Nia. He returned to Mbali one final time, kneeling before her in the village square. "Nia, you've shown more courage and wisdom than anyone I've ever met. Will you be my queen?" Nia hesitated, thinking of her humble beginnings. But as the villagers, once cruel, cheered for her, she realized she had found her place. "Yes," she said, tears in her eyes. Together, they returned to the palace, where Naya's weaving adorned the halls, telling the story of her journey. As Queen Naya, she ruled with grace and strength, her crown a symbol of her hidden worth finally revealed.